Hey guys, the Firebird is here. It's just me. Squeaker couldn't be here today, as always, because he's busy hiding in Cyber's basement from the IRS for 10 years of tax evasion. Yes guys, that's the truth. That is indeed the truth as to why he's never here. He's running from the IRS. God's greatest enemy. Anyways, these are the jokes. Hopefully you guys enjoy. In this video, I don't have much new to report on, but I do want to talk about something that has been a bit of a debate in the fandom so far, and that is regarding Scourge. Now, in my last video, we got the reveal of, well, my last two videos, we got the reveal of Scourge and the Terrorcon overall. We got like the group shot. These three are gonna be our main bad guy characters. We're probably gonna see more. We're for sure gonna see more bad guy characters, cause you know, name one Transformers movie aside from Bumblebee where we had like only 3 villains, like 3 core villains. So, like in Age of Extinction, we got Galvatron, Stinger, Lockdown, and then we got like the whole minion army. So I'm sure we'll see more Terrorcons here and there, but these 3 are our main ones. I wanted to talk about Scourge primarily, and while we still don't have any new pictures to confirm or deconfirm the amount of insignias that we saw in Scourge's front rear, I wanted to talk about the concept of Scourge being a combiner in this video, because there's a bit of evidence, some new evidence pointing to it, and the possibilities of it being the case. Now, Last Event recently made a video, and by recently I mean today, where he covered these leak concept arts that depict an early concept of Scourge's vehicle mode and an early concept of the orange vehicle mode. Now, unfortunately, we can't see the name for it because it's very blurry, and this also got leaked, well, shared around the TFW 2005 website from what I remember. I was gonna cover this initially, but I don't know, like I didn't feel like it was enough. Now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, maybe there's something going on here, something we can work with. But I do acknowledge Laszlo Van talked about this first, so just so people don't mention that I'm ripping him off or anything. So the rumor is that the orange truck is gonna combine with Scourge to form Scourge. If you're familiar with Overlord from the IDW comics, think of it something like that, Overlord is one robot, but he has 2 vehicle components, a jet and a tank. The tank makes up the bottom half and the jet makes up the top half. So, combiner transformers are nothing new. We had those in the past. It will be new for the movie franchise. We haven't seen anything like that, but people are kind of debating if that's gonna be the case or not. And there's plenty of reasons as to why it might happen and why it might not happen. First of all, if you pay attention to the Bay movies, and if you take Bumblebee out of the equation, the mainline Transformers movies, our main bad guys always have a gimmick, The Fallen can teleport, and he's an ancient alien. Sentinel Prime is a fire truck with the cosmic rust. Lockdown is a mercenary with a bunch of weapons, I guess. And Quintessa is a magician, in very simplified terms. So Scourge needs something to stand out. And according to the description, he's like this big, black, not racist, fiery guy with a claw who collects the, symbols from his enemies. And what's interesting about the description that we got from the Paramount event is that he also got described to have plenty of orange on him. Now, tell me something. When you look at this vehicle right here, do you see any orange? So that's why people are on this debate of whether or not this Scourge is going to combine or not, because a Scourge in the concept that had some orange bits going on here. It was pretty hard to tell for people if those orange bits were, part of the vehicle mode, the robot mode, or if they were just highlights from, all the fire that was around him. This truck does have some orange, but only in terms of the lights, and even then, it's not a lot. So people are speculating that, okay, so they said that the concept art that we saw, that the people saw on the, Paramount event had orange. This vehicle has no orange, but we do know who has orange. The tow truck. So that's why people are saying the tow truck combines with Scourge's vehicle mode to form the actual giant Scourge. And yeah, that's pretty much the theory in a nutshell. Some people are debating whether that's true or not. There's 2 ways that I could see this play out. Either one, the tow truck doesn't have its own robot mode, it needs to combine with Scourge to form the actual Scourge. And that will make Scourge one of the tallest Transformers around in the Bayverse. When it comes to non, 6-man combiner teams, Scourge will be pretty huge in this movie if that does end up happening. Alternatively, Scourge, the black truck, and the tow truck could have their own separate robot modes, and they just combine to form a larger, power-up Scourge. Kind of like how Optimus Prime, combined with Jetfire's parts to become power-up Optimus Prime in Revenge of the Fallen. A similar situation could, happen. Both trucks have their own robot mode, but they can combine, form together to form the power-up Scourge mode. Honestly, that would be pretty cool because we never seen a villain in the movies that has a power-up form. It's always just Optimus Prime or somebody else. So, that's basically where the debate is. Will it happen or not? And if it does happen, how will it happen? How will it play out? Now, something that's very interesting is that the tow truck has only been seen in Peru. When they were filming in Canada, I think Scourge was also spotted around set, and there's this small fight scene between him and Optimus Prime where Optimus Prime gets injured, and we see, the museum on fire, and Scourge uses his flames, because we know he has flames. Like, the concept art confirmed that, and people, that attended the event basically confirmed that as well. But what's interesting is that, to my memory, and I'm pretty sure about this, when they were filming in Canada, we saw Optimus, we saw Mirage, we saw, Bumblebee, and we even saw Scourge, but we never saw the tow truck. You figure if Scourge is like Overlord, who needs two components to transform, you figure we'll see the tow truck in New York as well, right? So that's why I'm saying that the New York filming, well, I know it's Canadian filming, you know what I mean, the scenes that take place in quote-unquote New York. You figure we'll see the tow truck if they were in fact gonna combine, if he's a required part to combine for Scourge. So that's a good argument against, these two combining. Or then again, you could also go with my first theory that these two trucks have a robot mode, separate robot mode, and they can combine together to give Scourge a power up, making him a more, dangerous villain for Optimus and the Autobots to face against. And, you could explain why, we see Scourge in Canada, but we don't see the tow truck in Canada, because the other component is, like, off doing, who knows, somewhere else. And you also find it very interesting that we know who everyone on this picture is. We know Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, RC, Mirage. I know Wheeljack hasn't been officially confirmed, but that is basically Wheeljack. We know it's Wheeljack. And for the Terrorcons, we know Scourge, we know Nightbird, but the tow truck is still being kept a mystery. And we know Scourge is the big bad of the film. It kinda makes no sense to keep the tow truck's identity a secret unless he's really important. So my guess is that either the tow truck is gonna be like a huge main villain, but I feel like if he was, they would have probably announced it already, instead of, announcing Nightbird or Scourge. And now I want to talk about the concept art that recently got leaked. Now, this reminds me a lot of the Age of Extinction days, where we used to get concept art leak, and we were like, oh, that's fake, when we got that Stinger concept art leak, and it turned out to be real. I'm not gonna say this is real or not, because this could be fake, much like that Motormaster, concept art from Age of Extinction. I mean, it does seem legit, though. It seems pretty legit, and it seems to be, on the art style that we usually get these concept arts on. There are two separate images, and we see, a name right next to the tow truck. Like, there's a symbol there, supposedly the Terrorcon symbol, and it says the name of the character, but since it's so blurry, no idea what that could be. But Scourge doesn't have anything. And these two characters also seem to have a similar background, almost like if these two characters were to be on the same concept art. Typically, in the past when we gotten, character reveals or character concept art, characters usually have their own individual background. Megatron in The Last Night had its own individual background, most of the Autobots did as well for Age of Extinction and The Last Night. So these two sharing the same background, well, it's not like, 100% confirmation, these two merged, not the same person. It is very curious, and it kind of points to that probably being the case, that these two are gonna combine and are the same character. It's not a straight up confirmation, but it's like a little hint. I think the main reason why people don't want the tow truck to be, Scourge's component is because, well, it kind of robbed us of another character. If the tow truck and Scourge are the same person, the same character, then that's a vehicle that could have been used for someone else, like, Devcon or Wild Wheel or, whoever people are speculating right now. And I don't think Hasbro will, pass on the possibility of making another car toy for the toy line. It's like a waste of a vehicle, so I do think that the tow truck is someone, but that someone is gonna merge with Scourge to give him a power up. I feel like that's more likely, and that's more of a possibility. It's again, it's very complicated because we don't have the original concept art for Scourge. All we have is the fan renders made by Laszlo Ben and a bunch of other people. So it's very hard to tell. I mean, there's a little bit of orange and black there. I feel like that will be enough to coincide with the robot mode that people saw in the Paramount event, but it's still like super hard to make 100% oh yeah, these two combined statement that that's gonna happen or not. But I do think that the tow truck is special in some way. I do think that there's a reason for, you know, the production keeping his name secret for this long. The fact that Scourge has been seen and has operated without the tow truck is a dead giveaway that Scourge is gonna be able to transform without you know, the tow truck being present. But at the same time, it's not 100% guarantee. Maybe the scene on New York, the tow truck never transforms, so that's why we only see, you know, Scourge in his rod mode, which could excuse the tow truck for not being present in the Canadian filming and just be present on the Peru filming. But now that I'm thinking more about this, I do think that the tow truck and Scourge are gonna have their own separate rod modes. I think that's pretty much a guarantee. I don't feel like Hasbro's gonna risk, you know, losing the opportunity to make another bad guy Transformers toy, because I feel like they're limiting themselves to only one robot mode and one toy if they make these two trucks, you know, necessary for the one character to transform. What I think is gonna happen is that the tow truck, who I know people are saying it's Hunger, but that leak got debunked a while ago, so I definitely don't think it's Hunger. Well, it could be Hunger, but I don't trust that leak. That leak is kind of irrelevant at the moment. It could be anyone. If anything, I think the tow truck might die and then Scourge might cannibalize his friend, much like Optimus Prime did with Jetfire in Revenge of the Fallen to turn into Power Up Scourge. Which, I mean, Scourge is not, you know, above defiling the bodies of his enemies. I mean, his very vehicle mode defiles the bodies of his enemies. And he's basically a space butcher, which I called from way back when, and it turns out to be true. Or even the tow truck just, you know, has the ability to combine with Scourge to power up Scourge, which I think it's also equally likely. But yeah, that's all the evidence we have so far, all the reasons as to why this could happen or might not happen. Personally, I'm in the camp that, yes, there's gonna be some kind of combination. I can't say if it's gonna be like the Overlord kind or the Jetfire and Optimus Prime kind. That remains to be seen. But we're definitely gonna get a robot mode for the tow truck, and we're definitely gonna get a power up for Scourge. That's my opinion right now. It's a theory. I can't say I'm 100% sure with this one, but I've been pretty right about the movie so far when it comes to calling these things. I think I have a pretty good track record. I called Wheeljack way before the movie even got announced. So yeah, I got a pretty good track record, guys. But I want to hear from you guys. Will Scourge and the tow truck combine? Or do you think that it's just a red herring? That the orange that was reported to be on Scourge for the concept that was just like the orange from the flames inside Scourge that just giving that orange look. Which it could also be a possibility, but I don't think so really. I think there's something more going on with Scourge and the tow truck especially. There's a reason they're keeping the details about the tow truck especially even more vague, and we haven't heard anything about his identity so far. I think there's more going on with the tow truck, but let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. You know, discussions of all kind are very appreciated. We're gonna start seeing some new stuff from the Peruvian set very soon, so as soon as we start getting some of that, I'm probably gonna report on it because that's gonna shed some light into a bunch of things, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys. Anyways, guys, before we go, shout out to our amazing patrons: TrueBlue712, Stitch Productions, Stephanie Baller, Christopher Prime, Predaking Hunter Plays, Mario Gordon, Allspark Studios, Scrub Lordo, Epic Nin, and special thanks to our big bold patrons, Jordan the Great and X23, who donated a amount of money. I'll leave you guys to wonder how much they did. Thank you guys for your support, it's much appreciated. It helps me keep the channel running and feed Squeaker, and if you guys want to donate to our Patreon, link to it is going to be in the description down below and in the comments down below, along with the channels of my patrons so you guys can go and check them out. I collab with some of them sometimes. Scrub Lord. And if you guys want me to shout you out, put a link to your channel, suggest your own videos, or collab with me in some of my videos or your videos, vice versa, doesn't matter. The link to our Patreon is going to be in the description down below and in the comments down below for you guys to check out if you're interested. But keep in mind that this is entirely optional. So yeah, thank you to my patrons for donating, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Stay safe, guys.